Hello friends. Today, in this new series called Whiteboard Melee, I'm going to be talking about bubble theory. As you can see by my little Jigglypuff drawing, kicking that bubble. Let's just get right into it. Bubble theory is something a player named Hungrybox came up with. Hungrybox mentions it's about probabilities and where two characters could be at any given point. For now, in order to illustrate this, I'm going to use one magnet. Just for now, imagine that we have Jigglypuff. And I'm just going to roughly draw in a stage here. For this example, just pretend this is Final Destination, just so we don't have to go into how the platforms affect everything. So, I'm going to use a few different colors here, but I know that in this position, what can I do? I'm going to break it down as simply as possible. In this position, I can dash forward in either direction, forwards or backwards. And I can also short hop. This is going to represent the end of my dash on both sides. So when I short hop, there are actually two more options I can go for. I can go for a backwards short hop, or I can go for a forwards short hop. If you're familiar with fighting games, this might look a little similar to you, because yes, even in Smash, it does loosely obey the notation rules of different directions. So this is where I can go as Jigglypuff, and just for this example, Jigglypuff is only going to be able to full hop up to here, right? This also represents the peak of the jump, and up here, and up here. This would be my full hop, and obviously, you know, if you were to double jump, it would go up there. Same for these ones. Same for these ones. So these are just plain, regular movement options that we can use, okay? Because Jigglypuff's wave dash is so short, I'm just gonna say, you know, this could be the wave dash, and this could be, like, the initial dash, you know, because she just doesn't go very far. Now we have all these potential areas that we can go. Now we have to factor in, okay, in one direction or the other direction, what can I cover with an attack? So I'm gonna include grab here. If I'm Puff, I could grab about like right here if I do it standing still. And then that also applies to the end of this dash range and all of these ranges in between, right? So these are all the potential things we could cover with our dash grab. For example, like we go all the way here, and then maybe our jump cancel grab goes all the way here, you know? This is now an area horizontally that we can reliably cover with something. Once you get into the more complex aspects of Melee, you know, we can do this short hop into an up air. We can do this short hop into an up air here, up air here. And the reason I'm using up air to represent this is because that's the furthest vertical point that Jigglypuff can attack you. And you know, we've got like all our smash attacks would cover about the same range. Okay, and we're getting kind of like a funny looking shape here, it almost looks like a paw print. But we have this entire range right here that we can cover immediately, right? So when we start to get a little further, all the way up here, for example, it's going to take us a lot more time to get to this position if we're starting from right here, and then potentially cover this sort of space. And Melee doesn't really move diagonally, there's not very many diagonal hitboxes, so we have this crazy, you know, theory here. And when I move this magnet to any of these positions, it kind of resets and it follows me. So from this center position, I can really cover reasonably this entire space right here. And this is the bubble and bubble theory, really, where Hungrybox talks about positions and what any of your options would be at any given time. Okay, it's about probabilities and where two characters could be at any given point. The probabilities portion is more about what you notice in your opponent when you're playing and anything that their character can do specifically. It changes per character every single matchup. Jigglypuff's range is going to be in this space here, whereas someone like Fox is going to have much more complicated of a range. So let's just say my Jigglypuff is fighting a character right over here, and it's a fox. To demonstrate this a little bit more, Jigglypuff has all this space to work with right now. Okay, this is like our wall here. Fox does not really have much space to work with. So we could dash back to try to get away from Puff, and you know, that's pretty likely. So what would we do in response? We would probably want to get to this position to continue to push Fox's bubble off the stage where he's gonna have way fewer options. But anyway, just to keep illustrating this one position, an example, we could dash back and potentially go off the stage, and then maybe come back up with like a back air or something. Or we could do a full hop, because, you know, we're slow, it's gonna take us a while to get up here, and this is pretty likely of a situation, right? Hungrybox, this is one of his best positions in Melee, is when you're in the corner, it almost seems like he always punishes whatever you do out of it. And then maybe double jump to get away, but then we'd have to come down and choose between this different tree of drifts and angles. So we don't really have a ton of things that we can do here. Jigglypuff literally has so many different options, and even here, if I were to illustrate, you know, we could do like a forward air in this direction, we could do our back air, which is, you know, notably a lot bigger. I'm even gonna start to overlap this a little bit, so this would like follow the drift down. You know, we got this whole back air that we could potentially time it, and you know, the late timing and then the earlier timing is gonna cover this and then slowly get smaller because it gets, you know, smaller the longer it's out. So I don't want to over-explain that too much. Obviously I could flesh out this other character right here, you know, Fox can cover with like up smash, up air, up tilt, there's this whole bubble right here. But when you take into account the probability and the different matchups you could be playing, he's really only able to do so many things to prevent you from taking more stage or getting him off the stage in this situation. Anyway, that is all for this video. Let's get these magnets out of here. Thank you for watching. Consider supporting my Patreon if you like this sort of thing. My goal is to keep it short, simple, sweet, and also related to concepts that can be generally applied to Melee that I haven't really seen good videos about. Goodbye and good luck. I hope you learned something today.